Welcome back for another amazing episode of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. I'm your host, Lois Kofi, transformational coach and plant medicine woman. Excited to have you learn today to be inspired and equipped on how to live your best health, your best wealth, by trusting that best innate wisdom that lies within. We'll be talking about psychedelics, microdosing, spirituality, shamanism, inner child healing, trauma release, and so much more. Grab a cup of coffee, enjoy, tune in, invite a friend. We look forward to serving you. Well, all right. Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Lois Kofi. I'm super excited today to be here with you to talk about how to set up sacred space for meditation with microdosing, as well as how you can apply this into deep dive ceremony after. A lot of people have been meditating for years. I was meditating for years. And honestly, as I was going through this self-discovery process as a binge drinking workaholic, someone who was really lost, feeling dead inside, just 2.5 years ago, guys, I was meditating. However, it was becoming very autopilot. It was becoming very rote, meaning I was just doing it for the sake of doing it. I was going through the motions. And not surprisingly, even though someone told me, go and start microdosing with psilocybin or ayahuasca, go sit in ceremony. And thankfully I had some great referrals to get me started in the process. But what I didn't have and what I didn't know, now wish I had, however, everything happens perfectly, right? I have no regrets because I learned the good and the bad and the ugly of what it is to be microdosing with psilocybin or psilohuasca without a sacred practice, without a daily ritual. I'm throwing out some terms there. I do want to define them so that you understand what they mean, because meaning is everything. For me, the word meditation had a certain meaning, but honestly, I was really thinking meditation was just about the mind. Same thing with microdosing. Same thing with deep dive plant medicine. And what I discovered was, since I wasn't making them sacred, which doesn't necessarily mean religious, although I do want to honor whatever that meaning means for you. Sacred is really about the power, the being, or the realm understood by religious persons, spiritual persons, to be at the core of the existence of our world. Could be also defined as holy, divine, transcendent, mystery. I have a lot of friends who are in mystery school in the spiritual realm. It's just basically connecting to that divine within, divine source, God, creator. That's what sacred means. I also find it interesting that it starts out the same as sacral. Your sacral chakra is a home of creativity, beauty, sensuality, that intimacy part of us that oftentimes gets shut down, put away. There's so much in today's modern era that's focused on the mind. And I coach on the mind, the body, the spirit. You have three brains in your body: the head brain, the gut brain, which connects with the head and actually works with the neurotransmitters, the serotonin, the dopamine, all of that. But then you have the heart brain. And that's what I want to reinforce today. When I was meditating before plant medicine and before finding teachers and before going on this path myself, I was just really focused on quieting the mind, dumping it out, not attaching to thoughts, not grasping to negative things, and recognizing that I am not my thoughts. All of that was good. It was a great foundation. However, the heart brain is really the seat of our soul. This is where a lot of our sacred healing can take place. Shame, guilt, fear, also connected with sacral chakra, by the way, and your solar plexus chakra. I'm not going to talk about chakras today, but they are all connected because they are all part of this body that we have, that we possess. We are sacred beings inside of us, inside of our heart. And so most people get so stuck in their head, like I was, which was causing me to binge drink, causing me to be addicted to social media, causing me to be looking outside myself for love, affection, attention, distraction. And so the more I healed my heart and went into myself, which is what I'm going to help you set up today, whether you're a client or not, I really, really hope if this lands for you, if this speaks to you, and you're like feeling lost, dazed, confused, looking outside yourself, codependent, maybe, it's really, really good to go inside. And when I didn't have a sacred practice, those first 6 to 8 months, really, almost the whole year, I was kind of lost with both microdosing and with deep dives. I had a lot of trauma come up. I had a lot of pain come up. I had a lot of suffering come up. I had a lot of realizations come up. And I would get still caught up in my head because I'd be afraid. And fear, that reptilian part of our brain, just once that's activated, it's anybody's guess. You can't think straight. You can say things you don't mean. You can do things you don't want to do because you're not coming from your heart, that still small place from within you with love and compassion. So that's the meaning of sacred. Again, that realm that a lot of people don't go to or talk about because maybe of religion wounds or dogma or this or that. But I'm bringing it back because the medicine has shown me it's time. It's time to heal those religion wounds. Some people even call it the witch wound. If you go back and study all the witches that were burned at the stake and all of the religion and the patriarchy that shut down that sacred feminine side of all of us that we all have within us. So I was able to reconnect with that, but not until I got into daily sacred practice. So another way I could say is sacred ritual. What does ritual mean? Ritual has a connotation of ceremony. Ceremony is more of a sacred communion with you and whoever you study, whoever your divine guidance is, God, source, creator. If you work with ascended masters, if you work with entities, whatever it is, I like to keep it open here because I don't believe there's one right way to setting up sacred space and having a ceremony with yourself, having a ritual with your higher self, your being within, your higher consciousness, super conscious. Again, whatever you call it, I'm not going over those labels. This is just more about your heart space, quieting the mind and getting into the heart. So I want to share with you how I do this and how you can do this. So number one is, first of all, having a clear intention. Having a clear intention. What is the intention of the time that you're going to spend with yourself, with God, with source, creator, going in your heart? If you use plant medicine, I even tell my clients to listen to your heart, maybe notice what's been going on for you in your mind. If you've been judging yourself, maybe your intention is to release judgment on myself and others. Because if you're judging yourself, by the way, you're judging others, right? So releasing judgment upon myself and others. And then what are you going to call in? If you're releasing something to God, to source, creator, to Mother Gaia, what are you going to call in? That sacred exchange, right? That's the other thing I was missing, by the way. I'm releasing something and blessing and letting it go, and I'm calling in something light, love, compassion, forgiveness, whatever the case may be. And so if you're listening onto the podcast later, you can go to my YouTube link where I'm doing some visuals here that may be important for you. So setting that intention. And then if you haven't already, making sure you have lit a candle, making sure you have lit some incense, setting the stage with the four elements. You can have water, you can have a fountain, you can have flowers with water. You can also have music. You can do whatever it is that kind of is like the opening of the ceremony. So first you started with intention, getting connected with your head, with your heart, with what is it that you want to let go of and call in. Then you have that opening. You might say a prayer. You might say some affirmations. You might listen to some mantras. Again, everybody's got to figure this out for themselves. I coach on this, but I'm just giving you general terms and what I've seen. Now, if you're taking the medicine, you've taken the medicine by this point. If you're microdosing, if you're not microdosing, you're just kind of like getting connected, maybe opening up to the four directions. I have a way of doing that, opening up to the north, the south, the east, the west, the four elements. You can set up like your own like little ceremonial opening, and then you quiet the mind. Then whether you're listening to music or not is up to you, but if you're in silence, just sit with it, allowing the medicine to work through you if you're microdosing, allowing just spaciousness in your heart and allowing whatever to come up. Maybe even asking for guidance. Maybe you pray to a certain being and asking for clarity and wisdom, literally voicing what is it that you want to know? What is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to feel? And what is it that you want to heal? And then just being in that spaciousness. Now, if you're microdosing, the medicine could be starting to work with you 30 minutes, 20 minutes in. So I would say if you can sit there for maybe 10 to 15, 20, 30 minutes and just be with the medicine. However, if you're not microdosing and maybe it's after a deep dive, or maybe it's just your practice, you're not into plant medicine, which is totally cool. Whatever it is, just allowing to sit and listen. The magic is in the listening. What is coming through? Maybe if you pray to your ancestors, maybe you're going to get some wisdom from them. Maybe you do a card pull. I have my my divine feminine oracle deck right here. I work with a lot of different decks. I study the runes sometimes during my sacred practice. So maybe there's something you're studying that calls to you. Maybe you have a devotional. If you read a devotional, and then you just listen through all of that, whatever is part of your opening and getting clear. And then after that, you can respond. You can journal. Maybe you journal the wisdom that came through. Maybe you journal about something that came through. Maybe you maybe even have a conversation with God, whatever. This is your opportunity to be seen, be heard, and connect with your heart space. So that's kind of like the transitional moment, but then you finally want to close with a closing of gratitude, a closing of the four directions if you open them. I like to do drumming and say aho, ashe, amen to close. You'll have your own way. There's no right or wrong here, and you can even if you're more of a secular person, I say find what works for you. I am all about you finding what works for you. Because what I discovered was when I was trying to meditate to this other way, these kind of like a lot of rules around this meditation, it was fine, but it wasn't my way. It wasn't my way. So by stumbling, fumbling, it took me a year, oh, by the way, to get up to what I call my official sacred space and delicious, delicious sacred practice that has exponentially helped me purge and release so much shame, guilt, fear, trepidation, anxiety, all of the things. Because remember, you didn't get here overnight. Wherever here is, if you're struggling with addiction, if you're struggling with trauma, if you're addicted to fear, negative thoughts, etc. And as you go through this practice, you are going to evolve. So my encouragement to you is to find a teacher, find a coach. Again, doesn't have to be me, but find someone who can hold you and walk with you on this path. Because that's what I did. And that's what I was able to then take up my sacred rituals, my practice, understanding what the medicine, the psilocybin, the ayahuasca, the psilohuasca was showing me, because it can be a lot. And we've been sort of bogged down by a lot of rules, a lot of expectations about who we should be. And what the sacred practice helps you do is to help you discover who you truly are meant to be. You are whole, perfect, and complete. You are brilliant and brave and courageous. And a lot of times we forget how much power we truly have. So in this sacred practice, one of your intentions could be calling your power back from all time and all places, realigning the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine that we have in our head hemispheres as well as in our heart, I believe, hemispheres, and really truly falling in love with yourself, celebrating your divinity within, celebrating your sacredness, and trusting yourself more. If I were to finalized. Hey, Valerie, so good to see you. Welcome from Wisconsin. Feel free, by the way, before I forget, if you saw value in today's message, please hit the share button. I feel like there's so many of us that are slogging it out in the world and doing the definition of insanity, same thing over and over again. You know how it is. Um, and if you can just find the time to commit to yourself and creating a daily sacred practice, again, with or without plant medicine, that's up to you. But if plant medicine calls to you, I'm here for you. I want to support you by going inward to remember who you truly are. And the sacred practice can help you with that. Help fill yourself with more love, more light, more compassion, more forgiveness, more kindness. So if you saw value in this short episode today, I'm just wrapping it up here. I see a lot of people joining in. Comment below #live if you're tuning in. I'd love to catch you and acknowledge you. And #live city, state, country where you're tuning in from. #live city, state, country where you're tuning in from if you want to. Otherwise, if you see it on the replay, #replay. I love to build community. I love to have conversations with people. And if you saw value in this today, come to my microdosing and psychedelics 202 class today. It's the first time I've ever taught it. We're going to dive deep into more of shamanism, setting up sacred space in a ceremony, a deep dive ceremony, talking about how to hold yourself more. Today's episode just scratches the surface. And if you're seeing this after the 202 class, which is June 27th, 1:30 p.m., keep going back to my microdosing for health.now.site and tune in there as I'll have updated classes, recordings, free gifts on how to set up sacred space. And if you sign up for my subscription, my new microdosing subscription that's launching as of today, you can also get discounts on working with me and plant medicine. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really hope that you saw value in this today and that you set up your sacred space, get into a daily ritual, get into a daily ceremony with your higher self, with you and that divinity within, and let me know how it goes for you. I'd love to hear from you. You can shoot me an email, lois@loiscoffee.com. And I will also be working on launching. I have a new name coming that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. And I have my 3-year podcast anniversary where I'm going to be giving away a plant medicine ceremony. I'm going to be giving away microdose coaching. I'm going to be doing a ton of giveaways, a lot of great, exciting new guests as I relaunch my podcast and celebrate 3 years and almost 300 episodes on July 26th and 27th. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, guys, here's to your best health, your best wealth, and your best journey inward to find that best innate wisdom within. Bye-bye for now.